So prosciutto is a classic salumi, and it's usually made from a pork ham. The issue with making it yourself or making your own, which I've done, is that it takes like a year to cure it, dry it, and age it. So you got to be really patient. So today what we're going to do is going to make duck prosciutto. It's not as tasty, but it takes a lot less time. Now there are various recipes, but I make mine again using the exact same cure as I do for the pork. So first I'm going to make the cure. For 2 1-pound duck breasts, I have 25 grams of salt. I have 6 grams of sugar. I have a gram of Prague cure number 1. It's also just called pink salt number 1 or cure number 1. It's a curing agent. I have 4 grams of black pepper and 2 grams of herbe de Provence. So that's all the seasoning for that. Mix that up. Just mix it up like that. Then I take the duck breasts, and let's just put those duck breasts in here and start working them. You want to make sure you get them very completely coated, and you want to push the cure into them. You want to get as much of this as possible. It's good to have extra. That's why, I made enough, so I was sure that I'd be able to really get these things coated well. I can put the cover on. It helps. Sometimes this is called, in one of the books I have from Ruhlman and Polson, they call this the salt box method. You make sure you have enough. You can just kind of toss it around. You don't try to measure exactly how much you need. So you'll see I'm getting this coated, these two things coated very nicely. And I have a little bit extra, so that's good that I know that I've made sure that it's coated. There you can see really well coated with the cure. All right, now once I've done that, I'm going to take them and I'm going to put them here on this angled cutting board, skin side down. Okay, the angle is to allow the liquid, as it's curing, the liquid to flow away from it. And I'm going to put a little weight on it too. So here's another board, and I'm just going to put this on top. I don't need a lot of weight, just a little bit. All right, now what this is going to do is it's going to go into the fridge for 4 days. And after 4 days, I'm going to rinse it, pat it dry, and weigh it, because I need to know what it weighs before I hang it in the drying chamber. I have information about how you could make a drying chamber in episode 81. I'm going to hang it there until it loses 30% of its original weight. So we'll come back later. Okay, the curing process is done, so now we dry age it. For hanging, you can either tie it or you can stick a hook through a flap of the skin like this, and that'll work just as well. Now, I hang in a drying chamber, as I said earlier. It's in my basement. And as I mentioned, I explained how to set one up in episode 81. However, you don't have to do that. If you don't plan to do that, you can actually hang this in any cool, humid place. Now, the temperature needs to be between 60 and 70 degrees. That's the more important thing. That'll be harder for you to control. But it's unlikely you're going to have adequate humidity since the target is around 70%. Now, you can compensate by using a little spray bottle and spraying a little water mist on the breast every few days. The important thing is you want to keep the outside from drying out, because if it dries out, then it's going to seal it and the inside won't dry. So that's the most important thing. Okay, so I'm going to go and hang this, and when it's done, when it loses 30% of its weight, then it'll be ready to go, and we'll give it a try. Okay, so it's been a few weeks. And the smaller of the two duck breasts that I turned into duck prosciutto is done. You can see here's what it looks like on the inside. I've already cut it in half. And I'm going to slice some up here, and we're going to give it a try. Okay, looking pretty good. What do you think, huh? Let's taste that. Oh. All right, so, it tastes kind of like prosciutto. You can tell it's duck and it's not pork, but it's still really, really good. So there you have it, folks. Duck prosciutto, and I'll see you next time.